If you want to sell your SaaS to developers, you're in the right video. Today, I will show you one effective strategy to get more developers lead. If you're ready, let's jump right into it. If you're targeting developers, you have many possibilities for your inbound and outbound marketing. You can use Reddit, X, or even LinkedIn. Speaking of which, if you want to learn more about LinkedIn outreach, you must check out my latest video. That being said, as you all know, the master platform for developers is GitHub. And that's the platform we're going to use today. Here is the plan. First, we're going to identify some repositories our prospects may follow. Then, we'll use the right tool to extract all Stargazers' profiles and emails. And finally, we'll create an emailing campaign. If you're ready, let's get started. So the first step will be to identify repositories that our prospects may like. Indeed, this step really depends on your product and the prospects you're targeting. However, here is how you can think about it. For example, at Cobol.io, we provide the dashboard to set up any SaaS and make it ready to sell in 10 minutes. One of our core features is authentication, and we integrate very well with Next.js. So let's say we want to target people who are interested in authentication and we use Next.js. Then one repository we may be interested by is NextAuth, because it provides authentication for Next.js developers. So this is the kind of reasoning you may use and you may adapt to your product and your audience. Another thing you want to check when you scrape a repository is the number of Stargazers here. As a rule of thumb, if this number is really high, it means this repository is mainstream, so it may won't be as targeted as you want. On the other hand, if you have one repository with 1,000 stars, well, it means probably this repository has some very targeted people in it, so it may be more interested. Something you have to know is you won't be able to extract all Stargazers anyway because you're limited by GitHub. That being said, if it's a fast-growing repository, you'll be able to scrape it every week, for example, to always extract all new Stargazers. So let's see now how to scrape those emails. First, I will copy the repository link. Then we'll go to phantombuster.com. Once signed up, you'll look for the GitHub integrations, and here you use the Phantom named GitHub Stargazers export. Click on Use It, and here you have two choices. Either you can paste the repository URL, or you can paste a URL to a Google Sheet where you can list many repositories at once. For this tutorial, I'm fine with that. I will save it, then you can configure it, but I won't give advice on that since it's pretty straightforward. You save it, and you decide when you want to extract them. Here I will only extract them once, but as I told you before, you may want to extract all Stargazers every week if it's a fast-growing repository. I click on Save, and what I will do now is I will click on Launch to export all Stargazers. At this stage, you can leave that page and have a nice sandwich because it may take a while. Once the export is ready, you'll get a CSV file containing the profiles. Here is how it looks. As you can see, you'll have only a name, a profile URL, and a profile image. And those information won't be enough for your targeting campaign. So now we'll use another Phantom to extract the emails of these profiles. Let's go back to our dashboard and browse the Phantoms again. On the GitHub section, you can see we have a GitHub profile scraper Phantom. We'll use this Phantom. Here, as you can see, it's asking for the GitHub session cookie. So in theory, if you're connected to your GitHub account and if you have the Phantom Buster Chrome extension, you won't have to fill that manually. But sometimes it doesn't really work. So here is how you can get it. First, you open your GitHub page, you make sure you're signed in, you open the inspector, and then you go to Application, Cookie, you look for this GitHub item here, and you have a user session cookie here. You copy the value and you'll paste it here. And boom. Now you have to give a list of the profiles you want to extract. To do so, we'll use the previous result. So we'll go to our previous result page and we'll just copy the result.csv file URL using this button. and we'll paste it here. We click on save. We want to scrape all profiles. We'll launch it once. And let's get started. Again, this process may be long, so use this time to go to the gym and have a nice workout. Okay, so I stopped the process because I don't want this tutorial to be too long, but here is the result I got so far. As you can see, we now have more information. We still have the profile URL, but we also have sometimes a username, a full name, and an email. As you can see, there are many blanks here, but we'll clean that later. So first, we want to extract only leads with valid emails. But another thing I like to do is to extract people with real first name and last name. That way, I can send personalized emails, and that's better either for deliveries and for spam. Using the first name is always better to avoid getting to spam too quickly and also to increase your open rates. So here we're going to download the results. And we're going to use another tool named leadcleaner.ai. You can sign up for free and you'll have free credits for it. So now we're going to upload our new CSV file and we'll make sure the right columns here are mapped to the right values. For example, the email is the email column, the username is the username, and the full name is the full name. And then we'll click on Find Names. What this tool will do is that it will go over all the username, full name, and emails and use AI to find and extract the first name and last name of the user in two different columns. So here is our results. As you can see, the tool found 30 names. 2 names are missing because by default it will avoid non-alphanumeric names like Chinese name, for example. And when it's skipped, it means the email was missing. So we don't want that data anyway. So I can download the results. Let's try to open it. And boom. And now you can see at the end of the CSV file, you have new columns for the first name, the last name, and you also have the gender. So if the confidence score is equal to 1, it means the name most likely exists. Otherwise, if it equals to 0, it means it's very unconfident. So what you may want is now to filter this CSV file and only use the confidence score equal to 1. Okay, so we've already done a lot so far. We identified our GitHub repositories, we scraped the profiles, we extracted the emails, and now we enriched them with the first name and last name. Let's now start our emailing campaign. To launch our emailing campaign, I will use a tool that I love, which is maillead.io. So if you use another tool like Lemlist, for example, it's totally fine. But you have to know that Maillead is as powerful as Lemlist and also much cheaper. So once you signed up, the first thing you have to do on Maillead is to connect an email. So here I really suggest you use a Gmail email with a custom domain. If you don't know how to set up a custom email on Gmail with a Google Workspace, let me know in the comments below and I will explain that in another video. Before to start any campaign, what you want to make sure for a few days is to activate this warm-up button here for your email. The warm-up feature of Maillead will automatically send emails with your email to a pool of other peoples like you. And that way, it increases the authority of your email and it lower the chances to go to spam. Once that's done, you'll go to the campaign section and create your first emailing campaign. Name it however you want. And now it's time to import our leads. Before going further, I noticed many of you haven't subscribed to this channel yet. As you know, making videos like this take a lot of time. So if you want to support my channel, feel free to smash the like button and to click on subscribe. So let's continue. Now we'll add our leads and click on upload. And we'll upload our result file. Once added, we have to map the columns. So here, what we want is to map the email and to map the first name. Click on upload. Boom. Now our leads are in the campaign. Let's now start a sequence. So I will create it manually. Here, the only thing you have to do is to add an object and a content message. So you can use variables like the first name. In the object section, in both the object section and the body section. So for example, here is a subject, and I can use the first name again here. So for this tutorial, I won't show you an email, but here is how you can create a sequence. Then you can add another step if you want that will send in a few days, for example. So let's say I want to send a follow-up email after 5 days. If the user doesn't reply, I can do it that way. Again, I won't do it in this video because it's straightforward and it depends on your use case. But if you want a specific tutorial for mail leads, feel free to let me know in the comments below. So I will remove that, and the final step will be to schedule our campaign. Again, this is pretty straightforward. The only piece of advice I have here is be careful not adding a too wide timing range here, because otherwise you may go to the spam folders. You click on save, and finally on the settings panel you can choose the email you want to send emails from. You can choose to track opens and link tracking, and I want to do that. And once you're done, you can click on launch your campaign. I won't launch this campaign because it was only for a tutorial, but here is how a campaign looks. As you can see, I now have an analytics dashboard that I can track to see if my campaign works. What you can see here is that I have a 74% of open rate and a 8% of reply. So my subject field seems to perform well since the open rate is really high. However, my body doesn't seem to be as good. So by looking at those statistics, I know what I have to improve. Okay, so we saw a lot of things in this video. Again, if you liked it, feel free to smash the like button below and to subscribe to this channel. And by the way, if you're planning to launch a SaaS anytime soon, feel free to check out Kobo.io because this all-in-one dashboard will plug to your Next.js, Vue.js or any TypeScript application and will make you save weeks. Thanks again for watching this video, and don't forget, keep shipping, guys.